All right. So let us continue on our journey to complete this commentary by Tzu Ping's work. And altogether, we have a long way to go to complete our entire curriculum. And once you're done, I will believe you can graduate from the studies of Pachi. Yeah? So altogether, there are 263 chapters, and we have done quite a few already. So we got a few more left to go, yeah, as it is. Just about 250 more to go. Right. So we have covered a few, and some of them are pretty introductory, so I shall skip them. And just a bit of a refresher, today's topic will be on chapter 10, chapter 10, on the punishments. So I've gone through the rest like clashes and harmonies, and also harms. So we have done the combination, the trinity, and the sixth area as well. So once we're done, then next week we will move on and jump on to look into other chapters along the line. Write down the chart here as we have. Right. So on to chapter number 10. The file has been shared with you onto the group and also onto the folder. And so we'll finish up on the punishments. And so now before we move on to the punishments, we'll take a look into what we have done before. So as we look into the interactions of the elements, the interactions of your earthly branches, essentially we would cover what we have covered, of course, is your combination. So we have covered your hum. So combination and hum is a bit related. So there is a relation between combination and hum. What would be the relationship between combination and hum? In the relationship with combination and hum is that when we look into combination, what does the dog combines with? The dog naturally combines with the rabbit. The dog normally combines with the rabbit. And what does the rabbit clashes with? The rabbit would clash with the rooster. Right? And what does the rooster combines with? The rooster combines with the dragon. Therefore, this is the phoenix, the phoenix and the dragon. Then we have the dog and the rabbit. Therefore, here, as we consider that as the rooster clashes with the rabbit, the rooster will then harm the dog, will then harm the dog. Because in that case, this would be where the harm basically is one that will prevent a would then prevent would then prevent this so-called combination to a certain degree, to a certain degree. All right. And therefore, of course, the dog will clash with the dragon. And so as the dog clashes with the dragon, the dog will then create the harm relationship, similar to where the combination. So basically, this is where we see that there is this interactions between harm and combo. So when we look into harm and combo, you said there's no audio there, but I believe, sorry, well, everyone else can hear me, so it has to be on your side. Okay, it has to be on your side. I think because maybe you can switch off your video as well. Stop your video. Okay, just to check, see whether you can hear me or not. Okay, just video. Right. Okay, so where was I? Harm and combo. So combination and harm is related. So in a way, if you can, no, this one helps you to remember. This one helps you to memorize. Right? It helps you to memorize that there is a collection of events between all four of them. Therefore, the collection between all four of them. where do I get it? So there's a collection between hum, combo, and clash. So basically, clash and combo generates hum. And so that's where we can then see how the interactions of the so-called earthly branches comes about. Okay, so now as we move on to punishments. In the first part of punishments, there will be a few part of relationships. You can look into the three, into relationships here. So in the first part on this chapter 10 of Tzu Ping's work, we have your tiger, and tiger punishes the snake, and while the snake punishes the monkey. By the way, snake and monkey also will have a combination with each other. So therefore, it's a combination and punishment, creating a destruction relationship between them. And of course, we do find that the monkey then punishes the tiger. And also monkey clashes with the tiger here as well. And so this trinity of punishments will be in relation to power, in relation to the punishment of. So when we talk about power, we talk about legal relationship. So we talk about the relationship of now what kind of power do we have? So when we refer to the power, of course, there are many types of power: legal power, authoritative, physical power, or influential, psychological power that one has over to the other. Therefore, this power normally tends to be abusive. It tends to be one that threatens to a large degree here as we move on to the next step, we then have the earth. Therefore, when we say earth and earth, in short, if one finds it too difficult to remember so many types of relationship, earth, sea, earth, usually something. I mean, when we have your earth and earth clash, now we have your earth and earth punishments or bullying punishments as well. And so here we see that the ox punishes the dog, and the dog punishes the goat, and the goat then in turn punishes the ox itself. And therefore, this one creates one that says without kindness. The reason why it says without kindness is more or less we consider this to be same. In a way, you can say that they're same type. They're same type. All of them are earth. Therefore, they are basically colleagues and brothers. So therefore, without kindness tends to be one that creates a kind of a breakdown between what may be deemed to be your kinhood, brotherhood or sisterhood. So therefore, here we'll see that without kindness is a break of community faith, so to speak. Right, move along to the next part. We then have your relationship between the rat and the rabbit. And so the rat and the rabbit punishes each other. Therefore, this punishment is without courtesy. Now, what else will be the similarity between these two? One can say, what's the similarity between the rabbit and the rat? Fantastic. Both of them are peach blossoms. Fantastic, Jenny? Both of them are peach blossoms. Now, once again, it goes back to where there should only be one. One is more than enough. So the mantra for peach blossom is simple. There should only be one peach blossom. That's good. If you see a chart with only one peach blossom, fantastic. The moment there is more than one peach blossom, you had it. Because here, rabbit clash with rooster, another peach blossom. And of course, the rat clash with what? The rat clash with the also another peach blossom. Therefore, this will be where I mean, imagine in a way, because these are also yin. These are yin, no, one is yang and yin. Just imagine that this is something like when when one sees another, when a male sees another male competing for attention, or a female meeting another female competing for attention. So indicating that there is competition in love affair or related. Therefore, here, without courtesy, without manners, or in a sense, this kind of punishment is competitive. Competitive in terms of envy, in terms of jealousy, in terms of fighting to get the resources or to get the reward in a way. So that brings us to the fact the mantra is very simple. Peach blossom one is all you need. It would be nice to have a peach blossom. It makes your character attractive, makes you easy to get people to do things for you. It gets you to be likable. But the moment you have many on top, then you'll be mired into personal relationships and relationship issues, affairs, third party love triangles, and the whole mess in terms of people related emotional roller coaster. All right. So anyway, punishment is about that. So what is the kind of a punishment that we would like to consider? And now here we have your self punishment. And so these four will be self-punishment in a sense. So with the peach blossom here, horse and horse, rooster and rooster will be self-punishment. And then of course we then see that your dragon and the pig will also likewise have your self-punishment all the same. All right, what kind of self-punishment may manifest itself depending? Now the word self-punish. Now, the word self-punish may come into many manifestations. One part of how one can punish yourself is addiction. I mean, you look into the way that how addiction can destroy people's life. People who are addicted to gambling, addicted to smoking, addicted to alcohol, addicted to some kind of substance abuse, may find itself that you're punishing yourself. Now, which of these four do you think will be closer to alcohol addiction? I mean, for those who read Chinese, Chinese character, sorry, there might be a bit more. If you put the water sign, if you put the three water sign into the sign, then what do you actually get? You actually get I think what generally consider alcohol. So once you put the water sign and sway with the thing, you actually get alcohol. So therefore, rooster, Western tends to be more towards the part about the area. Yeah? I mean, the term of horse is fire, fight fire. That means it's about more towards being temperamental into it. So to say that, I mean, in a way, if you have self-punishment means you have two of the same elements. So that creates a dominant relationship over that itself. Right. More to it, you can consider that one part is self-punishment. The other part, of course, is temper, the kind of a temperament that one may be. Yep, in a way, more or less must be side by side to see its effect. Punishment, usually, once again, the side by side tends to be, the proximity tends to be important. But it doesn't have to be all the time. We can also have arriving luck pillar. Arriving luck pillar, we can also be less proximate as so to speak. So usually at the end of the day, temper or addition, the summary of it means bad decision. Bad decision. Making the wrong choice, making the wrong decision that makes things worse. Makes things worse. So you punish yourself. You punish yourself. So basically here, the concept of punishment. And then to see how we can read it, then of course move towards trying to put a remedy on, we can find remedy. What are the remedies for it? So once again, we consider trying to link it up. So here we have a statement that says that kindness is born from harm is born from thought, Now, as we look into the punishments come from the three punishments, come from the three combinations. The three punishments come from the three combinations. Now we would like to link it. Okay, now in a way, kindness is born from harm. Essentially, just means that combo. Your sixth combo is born from harm, which of course harm can also be from thought, or in a way a concept, or maybe what I call clash, in a way. So therefore, three punishment come from three combinations. So now what do we mean? Let's move along. Let's come into number one, the elemental combination against the directional combination. So directional combination is about the season. So the season of spring will have the tiger, the rabbit, and the dragon. Therefore, the season of spring. Then we have the water trinity, the water combination, the Shen. So with that in mind, we can then see that from there, that is where we get our punishment. And so we find that water, where the first part is the monkey, Shen, will then punish the tiger. But the Shen will also clash with the tiger, isn't it? Therefore, this is clash and punishment. So there are two effects. And in this one part, we then see that this results in the monkey, the Keng metal, clashing against the Yang wood. Therefore, this clashing in, depending, if the person is the tiger, then the monkey is metal clashing in. So it's a metal clashing in, this would denote uh, a kind of a clash that pertains to power, because this would be a seven killing. So therefore, there's a metal, Keng metal will then be the seven killing to the tiger. So it's a seven killing. So it's a very difficult time for the tiger to face the monkey. So we find a clash, and we also find the punishment that comes in. Now, secondly, we then have, that's where we now have the peach blossom. So the peach blossom will then punish each other. This would be about civility. And then lastly, we have the dragon and dragon. Then this is where we have the self punishment. So this would be the self punishment. Yeah, so the first one is about power. Second is about civility. Third one is the self punishment. So that's how the relationship comes about. So it is about the water trinity and about this. In a way, it can also be considered. In a way, it can also be considered that this kind of clash, I think if you can also see from one, it may also be called ungrateful. It is also a kind of an ungratefulness. Ungrateful. To bite the hand that feeds you. Because usually we understand that water produces wood. Water produces wood. So water feeds wood. It produces it. But as it produces it, it then punishes it. Therefore, this will be where the symbolism may be considered to be the mother. The mother punishes the child. Therefore, this will be, that is why we say that it's a kind of a power, because it is the resource punishing the output. So the mother punishing the child. The punishment may also be denote that the child may be ungrateful, the child may not listen, and then may not be able to uh, to 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 be so called welcome or may suffocate from the parent. So this punishment may also denote that the child may have an overbearing, over domineering parent, and therefore the parent becoming dominant, aggressive, and would then exert too much pressure to the child. Therefore, this may be the kind of a reading for the for this punishment. So, how do we read a punishment that comes? So, this will be the water trinity and the spring. But somehow we see that for water and wood, that would be the relationship. But now, as we move on to the next one, now we have the fire trinity, yin wu shi. The yin wu shi will form the fire trinity, and against the summer season, the summer direction, which of course next year we will start our summer season, yeah, with the year of the snake. I talk about the snake, the horse, and again we now find that we now find the tiger now punishing the snake, the tiger punishing the snake, and we can see the same effect that the tiger wood produces fire, wood produces fire. And therefore that's another wood producing fire. And then of course we have your self punishment in terms of horse. So horse and horse has the self punishment. Then of course we then have the dog against the goat. Long story short, earth meeting earth, something clash, punishment, uncivilized punishment, bullying punishment, something along the line. Therefore here we find that that when we have the dog meeting the right, so this punishment will be once again a fire punishing fire. So we'll find that the key on top is of course the wood. The wood in the tiger produces the part. So therefore, this would be again very similar, very similar. The ungratefulness, the mother, the output produces it, and so therefore it may exhaust. The punishment comes into it. So now this will be the fire trinity of punishing the sons. And now next we have your metal. So your trouble. And here we see that in this metal trinity, so you trouble, will then encounter the autumn season. Sorry, there's a bit of a typo there. Autumn season. So in case of the autumn season, we now see that the snake will find itself punishing the metal. So this will be the ting fire punishing your metal. Then of course you have your self-punishment yet again. And then of course you have your earth and earth that comes into it. And so here we see the tie-up between the dog and the dog facing the fjord and dog. So if you have a dog in your chart, it's a dog's life. And sometimes earth versus earth, earth meeting earth tends to tends to reveal. Earth versus earth tends to reveal many hidden things. Many hidden things. So if you have dog in your chart, what is one thing that you cannot hide? What is the one thing that you cannot hide if you have dog in your chart? What is the one thing you cannot hide if you have dog in your chart? Yes, correct. Hidden in the element of the dog. What do you have? Ting fire. Of all the 10 elements, one of them cannot be hidden. That would be the Ting fire. So you cannot hide Ting fire. Ting fire is visible. And so the advice, the remedy for those with dog in their chart, the remedy for those with dog in their chart, try to live a life of not hiding secrets. Try to live a life of not hiding, because here there are so many earth elements. You're bound to get clashed, you're bound to get punished, right? You're bound to be punished and plan to punish. Therefore, that's where it's best not to actually. That's why we also find that earth also form Fui Kong. So they are also Ren Qi is a Fui Kong commander star. Geng Qi is also another strong one. So Geng Qi, the Geng metal. Geng metal is a Rockwell gold blade, because quite close to it, because it's Geng metal sitting on Sin metal. It has a Rockwell gold blade to the Sin metal people. And then, of course, you have your Ren Qi, which is basically a Fui Kong as well. So you also a Fui Kong commander star. Yeah, so basically, dog will have very aggressive, because it crashes its bullying punishment and so on. So people with dog in their chart can be quite a bully, right? Either a Fui Kong or a Rockwell gold blade. Depending, I mean, if it's a Geng Shi, it can be a blade, because there's a Sin metal. So it literally has a knife inside it. It literally has a knife in it, in terms of the Sin metal. So it is a blade to the Sin metal people, and it has a Ting fire that comes into it. All right. So in a way, for those who have a dog, uh, the remedy is to live a life of transparency, live a life of telling the truth all the time, live a life of staying on the legal side of the law, and therefore, when all these things come, then you stand to have a better position. Otherwise, things that are being exposed, punishment will expose. Affairs will be exposed, secret relationships will be exposed. That can embarrass and cause problems. Right now, the last we have. So it's a very unique thing to see that fire trinity with fire season, metal trinity with metal season. But then water and wood tends to be on the other side. So that's how the punishment relationships manifest itself. Okay, so now we have the last example here. We have your wood trinity in the form of Hai Mao Wei, and then that will once again comes to your winter season. So when wood punishes, winter, wood weakens. Therefore, it's a weakening relationship. So wood weakens the water season. It's a weakening relationship. And here, that's where we have the self-punishment. So this is where we have the self-punishment. So the water and wood, we find that the first would then be the self-punishment. Then, of course, we have again your rabbit and your rooster. Then we have the ox and so on. And so now here once comes to your ox. And so ox will be then yet another element, the other element that will be quite punishment. In fact, in a way, the Chinese character for ox is actually also means ugly, also means ugly, so sad, it also means ugly. All right. So anyway, that's why in cultural, in the ancient Chinese culture, the ox is also not welcome, not a very welcoming zodiac animal, so to speak. All right, but nonetheless, here so we do find that the ox will be punished. Well, it's quite a hard life for the for those with this earth element all the same as right. And of course, when the wood weakens to the winter, that also means the output punishes the child. No, now this is a case where it is the child that will now punish the parent. It's now the child that punish. Therefore, having this partner, meaning domineering child, and that may be also one that can create what we may now deem to be something that harmonious may then cause mutual. So punishment has to do with a domineering element because for you to be able to punish, there must be some element of power within you to to punish into the element. But now let's move on to coming back. So therefore, this is where we see the water and the wood. So from the water and wood, as explained earlier, the mother and the child punish each other. So it may then be considered to be without courtesy. Without courtesy, because the courtesy as in without respect, without respect, as the child is supposed to honor and to respect parent. Therefore, this may be deemed to be without courtesy. And then here we consider that among the monkey, the tiger, monkey, the state of prosperity within the five elements. Therefore, punishing each other would then be one who rely on. And of course, earth and earth, earth and earth would be kinhood. So the fighting itself is without kindness. Therefore, this would be to consider what those punishment actually, how it actually manage its. But even though we said, even though we said that the punishment, the self-punishment, but there is an exception to a certain rule. There's certain exception to a certain rule that the pig doesn't really punish anyone. So meaning to say that the exception in a way, it's true. It's true that there is this pig and pig, pig and pig, and it's also true to say that we come to say pig and pig into this part, but actually this may be not really read. Therefore, it's not read as punishment. It's not read as punishment. Okay. Well, later when we uh, run into what we consider to be the mathematics of it. I mean, if you look into the geometric mathematics, maybe in a later sharing. But at the moment here, maybe we can just take the remembering that what is the element, what is the main element within the pig? The element inside the pig or hidden inside the pig is rainwater. Fantastic, Ajahn. Yeah, rainwater. So we always consider that water people mix very easily with water people. If you just pour 2 cups of water into a pail, the pail, you can find that these two water will be indistinguishable. So water people mix with water people, very different from metal meeting metal. Metal meeting metal is argumentative. Yang wood, Jia wood meeting Jia wood is territorial and comparative. Therefore, metal meeting metal is argumentative, legal issues. Fire meeting fire may also create a fury temper. Therefore, this would be where we do find that water meeting water, not really read as a self-punishment. So once again, we go back to the early mantra that there is always an exception in everything. So this would be the exception here that we don't really repeat to be self-punishment. But it depends on how the relationship is. Okay, so this will be the rules for trying to interpret punishments. Try to interpret punishments. And so now let's move on to the chart or the example that is given on what are penalties. So anyway, once again, before we move on, Punishment means what? Punishment means penalties. So in penalty, we may read it as legal trouble, lawsuits, injury, illnesses. And then, of course, the word punishment. The word punishment may be the word punishment may denote a negative word. But once again, in the concept of yin and yang, the concept of duality, punishment is just another chemical reaction. Another chemical reaction. As we know, not all combinations are good, not all clashes are bad. So same thing, not all punishments are always inauspicious. Therefore, there will always be understanding that without punishment, there is no development. No pain, no gain. Now, for example, what does Keng metal needs? What does Keng metal needs in order to be shaped? Keng metal needs ting fire. Keng metal needs ting fire. That's right, lah, Corinne. Keng metal people needs to go through the baptism of fire. But ting fire is the direct. Direct. So here, as we look into the snake, so the snake and the monkey, the snake and monkey. So when the snake punishes the monkey, when the snake punishes the monkey, the ting fire shapes the keng. Therefore, there will be without punishment, there is no development. Without punishment, there is no development. Therefore, that may be just one way to consider that. All right. So anyway, it may also read. So it may also be read that it may also lead to promotion. But of course, further reading to know whether the day master is strong or otherwise, and how it may interact. And so this way, if the three punishments are accompanied by nobility, accompanied. Later in the other chapters, we will circle back to what do we mean by accompanied with. So accompanied with nobility is the Kuiren, the noble people. Therefore, this will be the remedy. This is the remedy. So what is the remedy? The remedy to punishment. So when facing punishment. So let's say, for example, this year is the year of the dragon. And dragon, of course, is self-punishment. So dragon will self-punish dragon. And so those people with dragon in their chart will face self-punishment. And so self-punishment may denote lack of self-control, addiction. Therefore, the remedy, of course, is to look for noble, to look for noble people. To look for noble people is to be able to ask for help, or to get the right party to come in to help as well. So therefore, that would be the noble people that comes in. All right. So that would be the remedy to punishment. Okay, but here, of course, when we study Pachi, we understand that we consider this to be science. We consider this to be meta science. So it's actually meta science. For it to be science, it is not a religion. It's not. So therefore, as we go through Tzu Ping's work, we are not referring it to something that comes from a holy text that is never changing. Therefore, over the years, we do find that there are a school of thought that doesn't agree to what is being shared. Therefore, here they argue that the punishment has no basis. The punishment has no basis. Right. Therefore, it may be considered to be wrong and should be discarded. So let it be known that there are schools of thought, people who form an opinion that you don't really need to read punishment. You don't really need to rebut. So what is stronger will be things like clashes and combination. Now, clashes and combinations, we don't fight, we don't find dissenting so much, but here we do. So take it with a pinch of salt. All right, move along. So now we come on into the first example. All right, in this first example here, we refer to a run water. A run water person born in spring is weak. A run water is born out of season. Born out of season. However, we see that this run water is supported by a lot of water. A lot. So we find out that there is a Kueh water here, Kueh water here, and Kueh water here. So there are three rock wealth. Moreover, what does pink and ting combine? Pink and ting combines, pink and sin combines. Yes, right, can, thank you. So pink and sin combines to form water. So does it transform? Does it get to transform? No, it doesn't get to transform because it has been, no, that's right. It doesn't get to transform because it's out of season. So the season doesn't permit. In fact, the season is wood weakens the water. Therefore, it doesn't get to transform. Right? But it does produce. So it does. All right. So there is water. So here we are referring to lots of water. Lots. We also see that there is wood in terms of hurting officer and hurting officer. What is missing in the chart is no earth. There is absolutely no earth at all. So no officer. So there's no officer element for this day master. So this day master has a lot of water and wood, basically floating, quite a floating person. And rock wealth and hurting officers are two negative elements that tends to make the person extrovert, rebellious, very extroverted. Rock wealth and hurting officer all across. So this set is not really very balanced. Not really very balanced. That would be one part to take observation. And furthermore, there's a pink fire there. Once you have a pink fire or ting fire, once you have a fire on the stem, it's quite crucial to determine the hour of birth. And here we see that it's still pitch dark at night. Early morning, too early in the morning, in the hour of the rabbit. Therefore, here the pink fire. So that's where we would like to 5 to 7 a.m. So it's before sunrise. So before sunrise. So pink fire before sunrise doesn't shine. So we want to look into the degree, the strength of each of these element and how it plays. How it yes, Ping Pui, that's so rabbit and so you observe. So yes, we see that all peach blossom, all peach blossom stars. The rat and the rabbit. So the rat and the rabbit will then have their punishments, isn't it? This is the uncivilized punishment. All peach blossom. No earth, no officer. So this person got no officer to control. Water needs water needs rainwater needs earth. Rainwater needs earth. Rainwater doesn't really needs earth. And earth is what? Earth is 7 killing. So earth is 7. Alright. So over here we try to understand the chart, try to figure out the character of this chart. So this chart is a sits on rock wealth with the peach blossoms. But here on the first instant, we may consider that what may be useful would then be wood. What is useful will be wood. So it is. So it is. It would be read that this chart would greatly benefit by having the rabbit as a pillar of destiny. Pillar of destiny means in a year step, because here wood weakens. Wood will weaken the water. Wood will weaken. Therefore, we may read that this may be useful. So it's allow the energy to flow. The energy to flow means water produces wood. And so as it reads on the chart that this person will be respectful, courteous, harmonious, moderate in character, because peach blossom stars makes a person attractive. But even though it may be quite extroverted with rock wealth and hurting office. Therefore, when entering to the wood pillar, then it would. Therefore here, we can see that uh, if we therefore here we see if analyzed superficially, the rat and the rabbit form punishment without courtesy. Ken, your question is the chart has 0 earth element. Once earth enters, it can translate into disaster. I would consider, I would tend to agree that once you consider earth, it tends to be disaster because it has no affinity to earth and earth disrupt, especially chi earth, especially chi earth. The arrival of chi earth will be quite damaging because chi earth will entrap the Kueh water, and then chi earth contaminates the rainwater as well. Therefore, might even be health related cancer, maybe a risk because water is polluted. So yes, so once you do not have an element, you do not have an affinity. More often than not, the arrival of this will tend to disrupt the chart, to disrupt the chart. Okay, so in this example here, you can see that the punishment without courtesy would be the uncivilized punishment between the rat and the rabbit. Yeah. So in this example, it would try to consider that as mentioned, if we read the hurting officer and the goat blade to be in punishment formation, right? Typically an arrogant, discourteous, malicious character. But once we are able to uh, read further about how the wood element becomes a useful element to allow the harmonic flow. Therefore, that would be just looking into interpreting the. One more example. Let's take a look into example number 2 now. So this is example number 2. We now have a sin metal day master, sin metal bond. Sin metal bond in spring, in the month of the dragon, is weak. So therefore, it's a weak day master. Weak day master is rooted. There's rooting in the year stem. And here, in terms of today's relationship, what do we have? We do have the dragon, and the dragon self-punish. So therefore, that's a self-punishment. But we also take note that there's a rooster and there's a dragon combination. So therefore, there's a combination. There's a combination. Right. So as you read along, so you can see that the day master is sin metal, and the dragon represents your direct resource. So it represents your direct resource. And therefore, the rooting may make it a bit stronger. Okay. So therefore, we can also see that the dragon contains Kuei water. It contains hidden Kuei water. So we did see that the day and the hour branches. So the day and the hour branches comes in point. Right. So as we read to this particular element, let's try to consider. Sorry. So how do we want to interpret this chart? So let's just, I just want you to just take your time to look into the chart, consider where the relationship lies. Okay. So in the first part here, we're referring to the sin metal. Then, of course, we have your two dragons. The year branch will have a rooster. Therefore, it's rooted. The hour branch as a dragon. The dragon contains a hidden Kuei water. And therefore, here we also see that there is an element of 7 killing. The 7 killing is strong, not rooted. That might be attacking. So therefore, we have a 7 killing that comes in to attack the sin metal. Therefore, overall, there is a mix of controlling forces. So there's a mix of controlling forces, releasing forces here as well. And then, of course, we do see that the hurting officer weakens. Metal, water weakens to the metal. Ren and Ting, too far away. Proximity. Water and Ting are just too far away to actually combine. So it wouldn't transform. Definitely not. Lack of proximity. Yeah. Okay. Usually, as you read along, we also consider hurting officer. Now, hurting officer is also known as stealing chi. Stealing chi. So we also said hurting officer is a stealing chi. So for the stealing chi, meaning to say that it sits on hurting officer, hits on hurting officer. And then, of course, with Kuei water, EG, and hurting officer. So many output stars. So the domineering output stars. That comes into. So this renders the day master to be weak. Day master to be weak. So if the day master is weak, then the day master needs self element. It needs self element. So what will be the useful element? So what would be the useful? The useful element, of course, in the basic classic will be your resource and yourself. Will be your resource and yourself. So the resource element would then be earth. Would then be earth. Earth would then be useful. Then, of course, your self element comes in as well. And so in that case here, as we look into it, then we would consider that what would be very useful would then be the self element. Would then be the self. So therefore, as the case study goes, when entering to the age of 32, or entering into the Keng metal, the Rockwell luck pillar, and this strong resource, because the Keng metal pillar that comes in will then strengthen, then leads to fame and fortune. And then as it enters into the red pillar, increases the run water, stealing the power, leading to the downfall. Therefore, here we consider that that the Keng, and then this one leads to the red leads to the downfall. And then has the arrival of the age 42, the G Earth, the G Earth comes in, combines with the Jia wood, to come in, as this. Therefore, here the person reads that when the arrival of the G Earth, and the G Earth combines with the Yang wood to produce Earth, And Earth is the resource element. Earth is the resource element. Therefore, also, when it's combined, then it, of course, would be useful for the person. And so they continue to improve. Right, so here it is read that if you look into this chart, so this chart is unique in one sense. So this chart is unique in one sense. This chart is unique in one sense that all the four elements, dragon will self-punish, pig will self-punish, the rooster will also self-punish. So all of them will have self-punishment. So traditionally, self-punishment would then indicates that there are going to be negative events, especially when there is no officer. So whenever you can find that there is the absence of what would be the officer for the chart? So bad decision making. Bad decision making without the officer. However, let us conclude. Let us conclude and wrap up by stating that it was observed. That all these punishments indicate legal troubles, lawsuits, injury, and illness. However, this case say this person does not experience any of these negative events. And so this case study actually is a case not to support punishment. It doesn't support. It is trying to contradict the theory of punishment. So it's quite interesting to find that in this article, in this chapter doesn't fully doesn't support the punishment rule. Punishment. So with that in mind, we do find that as we deal with punishment, it is often not so highlighted in. So anyway, we take it with a pinch of salt, and perhaps if we can read more charts and try to decipher further about this particular chart. All right. So anyway, with this we conclude. Uh, does this chart means that it encourages self-punishment? This chart would say it encourages self-punishment. This chart would mean that all of them, the rooster is a self-punishment, 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 self-punishment. Therefore, here the rooster. But I would like to say, I would like to say that sometimes, if I may, I would like to add on further by saying that uh, it's not to say contradict the theory, because the reason why we learn, the reason why we learn Pachi, the reason why we learn Pachi is so that we are able to overcome the problem. We're able to find remedies. And so after we find remedies, maybe a stranger reading our chart may then feel that Pachi doesn't work. Oh, it doesn't work because I anticipate this person to have a lot of punishments. But then this guy seems to have a very happy, successful life. So I don't think Pachi works. But then again, we do have our human decision. And so who knows, maybe this chart may have may chance upon good advisors that may be able to solve into one part. So anyway, in short, people with self-punishment usually means don't listen to your instinct. Don't listen to your instinct. Get a third party authority. Get a third party authority to overcome. So the remedy, coming back to finish up this part, the remedy for punishment is uh, listen to authority. Listen to authority. Listen to authority, and authority here, I don't mean the government. Authority means the authority who is the expert in the field, whether the field is relationship, money, career, or whatnot. Listen to an authority, because the remedy is when it's accompanied by nobility, it leads to. Is punishment mitigated by Fui Kong? No, it doesn't. It does. Just that Fui Kong are commander stars, they are tough, and therefore they are the punisher actually. Right? So it's not being mitigated. They are the one punishing people, not people punishing them. So maybe we can say that that's how they mitigate by being the punisher. Fui Kong are commander stars. As hard to kill. All right. Okay. So that wraps up on our today's sharing. I'll see you next week for moving on to other chapters then. Okay. Thank you, Kim Tae. Thank you all. Yeah. Okay. All right. Nice meeting you guys after a lapse of 2 weeks. Yeah. As it is. Okay. Good night, everyone. Okay. Bye.